right, welcome to IT Nation Wise Up, the podcast that skips the sales pitch and gives you real business value. I'm Matt Topper here, as always, with Vicky Bruns, and we have a unique episode today.
Very
Vicky,
unique.
how's it going?
It's going great, Matt. It's the end of the year. Looking ahead to 2025, reflecting back on
Is it?
2024.
I think that short week, that being Thanksgiving, the very end of the month on the 28th this year, really messed everything up. I feel like I have 5,000 things to do and about a day and a half left to do it.
I know. You know what I have right next to me is a box of all of the Christmas cards that I bought online that I have not sent out yet.
Are you still going to make it, or are you just giving up and doing it next
committed.
year?
These are coming out, either before Christmas or after it, but I paid the money, so if they're getting the cards. Yeah, but I mean, what about you? So you've got a million things to do. Like, did you get your holiday shopping done?
No.
All right.
I'm going to be out Christmas Eve the way this is going.
Huh?
I'm going to be out Christmas Eve the way this is going. Everyone's getting like Amazon gift cards.
I used to work in retail and I hated Christmas Eve. It was like the look on people's faces as they're doing that last mad dash before the doors closed. It's like this look of like desperation and like, just anxiousness.
So are they even putting any thought into the gift at that point, or do they just walk in and grab something off the shelf and whatever it is, it is?
Yeah, I think it's that. I mean, so when I worked in retail, I sold diamonds. So I sold like tennis bracelets and engagement rings and stuff like that. But yeah, it would just be like, hey, you walk in with the catalog, the holiday catalog. Give me something from here. What do you think? Do you think my wife would like this? Yes, sir. Why don't you go ahead and buy that?
And by the way, the answer is yes. If you're talking about a tennis bracelet, like, yes.
Yeah. Yes. And when you're talking to a salesperson, that's trying to drive their end of the year commissions, then just be a little bit, be cognizant about what you're asking when you're talking to sales associates. Now, I'm not knocking anybody in sales, but yeah, I mean, you got to drive hard at the end of the year, man. You got to hit your goal.
Right. You got to hit those numbers.
Yeah.
So it's the last episode of the year. And as part of 2025, as things change,
Yep.
Have we actually announced this yet, Vicky?
No.
Have we talked about it? Okay.
No, we haven't.
I will not spoil it. I will let you make the announcement.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I've really enjoyed being on the first iteration of IT Nation Wise Up this year. It's been amazing. And we've had so many great guests that have been on our show. And with the next evolution of the show, there are a lot of other things that are happening across the aisle or across the fence with ConnectWise. And as well, I know there's a lot of planning going into IT Nation as well. But since I sit under ConnectWise and really work on ecosystem partnerships, and there's a lot of stuff that we're working on with the ASIO platform, I'm taking some of those efforts and some of that time and investing that back into some of the core projects that we're launching in Q1 and Q2. And so I think it's really a great opportunity, though, to get fresh perspectives from another channel veteran who works at under IT Nation and ConnectWise. And so Sean Lardo is going to be joining you as the co-host, I hear.
He is. So Sean will be the new co-host of IT Nation Wise Up. I'll be around for 2025 still. That may change at some point after that year. And we want to, in this episode, bring Sean on and just talk about things that happened in the previous year and things that might be different for next year. So without further ado, how's it going, Sean?
Going great. Thank you for having me. And Vicky, you and I should talk about jewelry because my oldest daughter gave me ideas of what she wanted for jewelry too for Christmas. So before I go about the salesperson, we're gonna have to legitimately, this conversation happened just yesterday. Basic gold rings, but not regular basic gold rings, special gold rings, because they're investment pieces, whatever that means.
Oh, yes.
What?
You got to have your investment pieces. See, I thought you were going to go down another path of the lab grown diamonds, because I know that the newer generation, the younger generations are thinking socially and consciously about what they're buying, which I think is great. But yeah,
Absolutely. No
it's
diamonds.
definitely interesting.
Investment. Yeah, Matt, this is a term called investment pieces. Last time I checked, if I'm going to go toward, I invested in it. I don't know.
Like, what happened to the
Well, you
idea
can
of
stay
jewelry is
away.
not an investment because you won't get the resale value out of it? Just buy it if you like it.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even understand the terminology, Matt. I just learned this yesterday briefly from my 30-year-old daughter. I have no idea. So Vicky, we'll talk offline because I need to understand this more.
Okay, sounds
I
good.
like I'm already exhausted by it from yesterday even.
I mean, there's a lot of things to consider. Yeah, listen, we can talk about it. I've got some ideas for you.
Look, it took me 45 seconds to derail the entire podcast.
That's okay.
We're gonna do so well
So this
together,
is a
Matt.
preview of the next year.
Absolutely, and I'm excited to be part of it. I'm so excited, and thank you, Vicky, for graciously giving up your spot for me. I'm excited about this. I think it'll be fun. Nothing better than getting to interview people and learn their stories about how they achieve things, because sharing that knowledge and that experience helps so many people. And it's selfishly speaking, it's rewarding to me to be able to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've flipped over a lot of rocks, and we've found some really interesting stories that I don't know. I've listened to a lot of podcasts, and some of these people may not be on the podcast circuit, and so I think that was also neat too. Is just getting to
Yeah.
see some new faces and hear some new stories and new perspectives on the channel and where we're going. And as you guys know, I mean, I've been in the channel for 10 years. Sean, how many years have you been part of this channel?
Yes.
Okay. Over a decade. Matt, what about you?
15-ish.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so there's like this constant evolution and influx of new talent and new people and new ideas and new technologies coming in. I just did a new hire training for some fresh faced, like first role in technology sales reps today for ConnectWise. And it's just, the future is bright. There's a lot of great things coming in. And so I think, being able to tap into that and to the mainstream and kind of seeing how things are changing and evolving is so great. So yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys put out next year. No pressure. It's gonna be great.
It's going to be hopefully great.
Already feel great. I mean, I feel fantastic. So, but that brings up a good topic though. Let's start. Since I have to get used to doing this now again.
Yes.
Vicky, you kind of opened up Pandora's box. You said, you flipped over some stones that you didn't think. So, with all the stuff you went through over the last almost a year here, I guess at this point, right?
Really felt like longer.
Whoa.
I know, right there. See, again, back Vicky, welcoming, not welcoming.
I know.
So how about you? If you have do you have any takeaways or anything that stands out that you reminisce about? There, like, wow, this is amazing.
We covered a lot of different topics. The ones off the top of my head that were more recent were, operational efficiency. You can't talk enough about operational efficiency. Best practices for event planning. We had two episodes, I think, this year on how to create your own events. We also did a lot of interviews while we were on site at different IT Nation events. So it's always great to kind of interview the vendors and the MSPs specifically. But I think some of the stories that really stuck out to me were it wasn't really about technology, but more about the human side of technology. So we had an episode where we brought in Desiree Thomas, who talked to us a little bit about, how to prepare. I don't know if you can ever really effectively prepare for a layoff or like career transitions that happen. And how do you, almost like insurance, right? Like, what do you do to be able to prepare yourself for something that may come or may not come, and be able to really hit the ground running and understand also though the emotions that people go through when that happens. That was a really important episode, I think. And then at the beginning of the season, we also brought in Callan Sapien, who talked a lot about establishing a work-life balance. And I know people always joke, but there's no such thing as a work-life balance. But I thought that was also really good, So there's a real stories about real people that have been impacted by real things, and things that and feelings that other people may have who are listening in to the show.
I like that. Actually, when you were saying about for Desiree, what she was saying about being laid off, I almost think it's the same exact thing as when an MSP loses a client too, long-term client. There's probably the
Mhm.
same emotions because there's a level of disappointment and frustration. And how can I improve? A little bit of maybe anxiety, a little bit of
Yeah.
anger, a little bit of sadness.
Ooh,
It's the same
take some
because
notes. That's going to be an episode
right,
2025.
Yeah, be a
exactly.
good one.
I mean, because really, if you think about it, it's the same thing. First off, you're losing money, just like when you lose your job, you lost your money. You had a relationship, no longer is that a relationship. So I can see it being the same thing. And then the work-life balance piece, it's a very
Constant
sensitive
struggle.
subject. Well,
Yeah.
because is there, I've always loved work. So work-life balance, my work was part of my life, so it was enjoyable. Some people there's people that work to live, and there's people that live to work, right? It's always existed,
Yeah. I
and
think
Yeah.
I
I'm in the
I think
middle.
what's important though, right, is I was just having this conversation the other day, right? I'm married. I've got my husband works fully remote. We have one son, and so and he's young. And so when you think about those types of things, I think work-life balance kind of changes as you grow older and transition into different stages of life too,
Agreed.
right? And
Mhm.
so I think sometimes being more cognizant about how much you're investing into work versus your personal life can change based on the situation that you're in as well, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What
That's
about you, Matt? What were some of the episodes that really stuck out to you this year?
So the one that really sticks out to me of remembering and being a good episode was when we brought Alex in, and we had the discussion about if you're someone technical who started a business, how to start getting into the sales mindset and stop seeing sales as this negative thing, right? Dropping that used car salesman persona that you think about with salespeople, and really stressing how to get into providing value to your potential client or even existing clients, right? And the cool thing about that was the episode where I put myself into the mindset of someone who was a technical business starter, and just we almost went through a role playing exercise with that. Super, super valuable. And that's more of the type of content that we want to see, right? You can take something away from that. It's a challenge that if you're an MSP, if you're an engineer who started an MSP or any business that you face. And I thought it was just fantastic that we could take something that I've seen so many people, so many business owners really struggle with, and give them an answer to this question, right? It wasn't about Alex, it wasn't about Alex's business. It was about how can we help you, MSP, with something that we know you struggle with. And that was awesome.
I like that, and I think we also should get rid of the negative connotation of used car salesperson too. Um, Maybe if we started with that, we wouldn't be so negative. Only because, okay, so let's be honest, there are people that are unsavory and do business. They're unscrupulous and do business at all levels, right? They cut corners. Those are one. The other side are people that actually mean to do well, whether they're salespeople or not salespeople. They can be client success. It really doesn't matter. There is
Yeah.
people that do that, right? That do good on both sides. And in the MSP space, it has been far too long where they look at this as a negative connotation instead of. That's why you started developing the terminology of solution provider, solution sales, because it's in the name solution sales. You're here to provide a solution. Some people think it's pigeonholed into one name or one terminology of solution, which is I'm selling my solution. No, I'm providing a solution. That's what a good sales rep should be. Back to the diamonds. When people are coming in, they say, I saw this ring. How do I buy this? It's the holiday. They usually know the price now to some degree. Your job is to make sure it's actually the right fit, right? So you still
Yep.
provide a
Mm-hmm.
solution. And then you get to be in that like K's commercial where the guys walk down with the bag and they can high five each other because they just spent like a boatload of money at K's Jewelers.
Oh yeah. Listen, it's a
Makes
bad
every
sign
guy in the
it's a
and
bad sign when somebody walks in and they say, what's your exchange policy, by the way, before I buy this?"
Ooh, yeah, it's not going to go well. I'll tell you, Sean, though, I think
I don't think that
MSP, like
happens in wait, sorry. I don't think that happens in MSP land, does it? What's your
yeah, maybe.
what's your satisfaction guarantee?
It does happen with the what's your NFR policy, and they have no intent of actually selling it to any customers.
yes, NFR's bull. It's
We
bull.
do it to ourselves, though, right? And what I mean by that is we had, like, from the MSP side, we have a hard time saying no, right? And so for a salesperson, um, just say if it's not a fit, right? This product doesn't apply to me right now. I have no budget. And we tend to say something like, yeah, maybe I'll take a, and all of a sudden, you're way down the sales cycle when you have no intent or ability to buy this thing, right? And we bring it to ourselves, right? So if you're an MSP, man, just get in the habit of saying no, not a fit right now, and move on. Like, it's so we make it so much worse. That's why you get called over and over again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think, well, it's called chasing. You start chasing people, you start chasing clients, you start chasing deliverables, instead of just having a standardized approach to doing business. And sales reps are guilty of this as well. In order to close a deal, they'll promise a lot in some cases. The ones that don't know, you don't have to. You just have to do a better job of building value. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, listen, I think that you're putting together your agenda for 2025 as we speak here on the show. So I feel like there's some good content. Again, I know that this is going to be great, and I can't wait to see like how we get more listeners and find other ways to bring awareness to this podcast. Because I'll tell you what, the content has been amazing. The reach, I feel like we haven't gotten there yet. I feel like some people know about it, but I don't want it to become one of those ConnectWise best kept secret things, guys. So you shout it from the rooftops, find new ways to get people engaged and involved.
Well, luckily, this is an IT Nation podcast, so therefore, ConnectWise they just can't hide it. We're just going to be the best kept secret. It's going to be the IT Nation best known, well known, not secret. So yeah, no, I agree. I am excited about it. And Matt, so question, what did you learn from Vicky since working with her? Because you're so much alike.
We are? That's news.
What did you learn from me, Matt?
I know.
What did I learn from Vicky?
Answer the question.
Man. Actually, I think the big thing I learned, I want to say from Vicky, but about you, Vicky, is just how much you really care about getting the right info out there, right? You're looking to dig deep into our interviews and get info out there that's beyond what's on the LinkedIn profile and what's on their bios, and like really interested in hearing our guests tell their stories and hear their backgrounds and how they got to where they are. And we don't always get to dig into that, right? We see the same people in the industry over and over again, hearing their take on security, their take on biz ops, their take on whatever. And it was really fun when our guests came on, watching and listening to you dig into how they got here and just hearing some of their bio info. And I liked that. I thought that was a lot of fun. And the other thing I learned is you don't have good aim with with swatting the flies that come on during the interview.
Oh yeah, the fruit fly. Yeah, I did not. But I do have. But I can. Golf pretty well. So unlike.
Well, that makes one of us.
No, I appreciate.
High score is better, right?
Yeah. But I want to say I appreciate that. I think that's really thoughtful, and I think what's really cool about this show, and we're all on the circuit. We do different things, panel conversations or breakout sessions, or sometimes if you're doing a live stream, you're just pitching whatever's happening or what's in front of you. You have a hard agenda that you've got to hit all the points on. And this kind of gives you the freedom to be able to go and explore things that you don't necessarily get to do in larger, more structured settings. And that's why I think it's so fun. Like, because you can really dig into things. And even if you're curious about something, sometimes if you're short on time, you don't have the ability to be able to, to explore like why somebody actually moved from operations into marketing, right? Or like, why they felt a certain way about, led them to go start their own company, like Colin Knox. So yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess I have big shoes to fill. Go figure. I'm excited.
Size 8.5 women's.
So
perhaps not literally big shoes to fill.
I don't have
big shoes.
No, I'm good. Yes, please do.
I think you should do that. Sean can wear them next episode.
The sad part is my soon-to-be 16-year-old Sophia, she's bigger than that already. So therefore, I have no use for the shoes. She's already a size 10. So there you go.
Yeah, she's evolved into gold rings now instead of,
Oh no,
yeah.
she's a shoe girl. She's only this
Oh,
30-year-old.
okay.
The 30-year-old wants the investment piece.
Investment piece. Well, so Sean, I wanted to ask you, I mean, I know we kind of talked a little bit about some ideas that you guys have now for new episodes, but what are you looking forward to? Like, what are your hopes for the next evolution of this podcast?
Because of my very few years of experience of life and channeling, very few years of them, one thing I can say that I've been blessed with is having a really well-rounded education and experience and working with tons of different people. Not everybody has that luxury. There's many people that come into an industry and they stay with one job. They're a cog in the machine. They don't get that chance to learn. I hope that we can start to bring on people, not necessarily even from our space even, but have achieved things that make sense in the world that we're in. Because you don't have to be a MSP, you don't have to be a salesperson in any specific technology job, or a CEO of any particular software SaaS company or MSP to be able to provide value. And it's if we notice, if you recall, like over the last few years here, we had a ton of keynotes from different spectrums of business, to totally different end, right? Like of doing things. We had Tony Hawk. We had, yes.
When's Paul Skeens going to the Yankees?
Matt, be quiet. We're not even. He's not until next year. It really comes down to, I want to make sure we can start to bridge the gap of education for people to get what they need experience wise. I hope, and also I would hope that we can start to, there's always been this really big divide between how vendors and MSPs think they see each other and what takes place there as well. So educational and hopefully bridge some gaps, and also not be afraid to ask real questions. Ever, like, how many times have we all been in a room and there's always that little bit of a rift that, and we'll use the best person to use ever is Jason Slegel, right? He always asks a question, but he's like, God, man, right? But he has a good question. Just his positioning isn't always the best of it, and we've already had that conversation.
We love you, Jason. But yeah, I get what you're saying. You're
Yeah,
trying to uncover. You want to have an authentic moment, and you want to be able to get to the real answer.
Yes, and so that like the other half that's listening to this that wants to know that's always been thinking it, we represent them in that question, and they can get that response. Give everybody a chance to have their 15 seconds to explain, to give clarity, and to hopefully improve. It's not that it's bad. I'm not gonna act like it's bad in space, because it's not. But hopefully take it to another level of just transparency where people can actually work easier together. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones they do well.
Maybe it's transparency to create better accountability across the channel, so we're all holding each other to a higher standard and being able to push the industry forward.
Absolutely, and clarity on expectations, so that way you don't see those social media posts about other companies back and forth going at it. Again, just to make it better for everybody to actually do business, be happy, have a great utopia.
Utopia, wow.
And create world peace
for the podcast.
This is what we're doing. I'm here to
high.
break the internet. Breaking the internet, Matt. Breaking the internet. I don't know what you're talking
about. So if you, by the way, if you don't know Sean, or you're not connected to Sean or Matt on LinkedIn, make sure that you do so. And also you can hit them up on IT Nation podcast at connectwise.com. That's the email inbox. We've gotten maybe a few emails about suggestions
I think
going
one
into IT Nation Connect.
Too.
Yeah. So, but make sure that if there are topics you want to hear about, reach out to these guys, because we want to make sure that that you are covering what needs to be covered.
Well, it's still because we're all still doing this together, because you're going to come to us with stuff anyway, as you always do. So
I got some new passion projects.
There is, exactly. No, topics and guests. If you have suggestions, we're more than willing to look into it. If you have a good reason why they should be on or why you should be on, we'd want to know, because again, back to no stone left unturned. It's kind of important. There's no way you don't know what you don't know.
Word to the bird. Well, so let me. Can
You're
we?
like a grandma. Word to the bird. Let's go get our bingo jobbers.
Where's the bird? Look, I got a bird right here. And if you're listening to the show, I'm pointing to a picture that my son made this year. Actually, this picture got him into a art competition.
I thought that was the globe. I thought that was
it's like a Picasso bird, you know, if you kind of like, you have to kind of squint your eyes a little bit and then, you know, tilt your head sideways.
Is it like a modern art competition?
No, I just think it's like kids art that they're auctioning off to help the community.
Which way should I tilt my head? Because both ways.
See it?
Oh, I see the rabbit. I see the bunny rabbit now.
Here, hold on.
I don't know if even if it gets closer, it doesn't. Oh, well, obviously now you can see.
You see it now?
It even has bunny ears. Who doesn't know that a bird has bunny ears?
Of course. Yeah, obviously. Anyways, well, do you guys have any 2025 like resolutions that you're creating?
Matt.
Matt, are you running
Sean's resolution is to answer questions without dumping it towards his co-host?
No, my New Year's resolution is to dump it to my co-host. This is for you, Matt.
No, not really. You know, I've been just trying to keep doing what I'm doing as far as health fitness stuff. That's always my New Year's resolution every year, November, December, right? You eat badly, you don't work out quite as much, and trying to make sure I get right back on it in 2025. But no major different goals for this year other than to get back into it.
I like that. I would second that because I'm not good at prioritizing my health, and so that is going to be at the
calories don't count between Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's just the rule.
Yeah. Well, I like what you do when you get up early in the morning and you run. Like I aspire to be you, Matt, in that way. So maybe I will join you for a run at one of the IT Nation events this year. This coming year. There you go. Yeah, that's my commitment to you, and I said it, and so it has to happen now because it's on a podcast.
And to be clear, I aspire to never run with you in the morning. In 2025.
What about in the evening?
Or I'm sorry, let me be very clear again. In 2025, I aspire to not run at all unless there's an ice cream truck and I'm running for the ice cream truck. Otherwise, there's just no reason for this. If it's not a dog chasing me, the cops, and it's not anything I'm going after, there's simply no reason. And I can meet you at the end of that. I'll just drive over and wait for you, which I'm okay with. I'll be your biggest champion. So yes, there you go, Vicky.
All right. I like it.
Yeah. And honestly, let's be clear. I don't need a year to change to have any kind of thoughts as to changing my direction. I feel like I don't know a single human that has any element of ambition of any sort that doesn't pivot on a regular basis. So you're constantly, I don't know about you, but I'm my own worst critic. So I'm constantly looking to evolve, you know, and to make changes, you know, although like, I wouldn't mind being in the hot dog eating competition. See if I can win that. I probably can't, but I might.
Okay, we're putting it on as your New Year's resolution.
So that is Sean's resolution.
Yeah,
enter the hot dog eating contest.
I just say that I don't have resolutions. It just happens when it happens. I think I just that you cannot. Then
okay,
it's like
I'm pretty sure when it happens is July 4th. So we'll get that on your calendar.
It does. My mother's birthday is on 4th of July. She'll love to watch me just shoving hot dogs down my throat. She's like, that's my son. I'm so proud of him. He's so accomplished.
He's accomplished so much in his life. Look at that.
He's so accomplished. He was so bored this year. He decided to start eating as many hot dogs as possible.
All right. Well, it's happening. I love it.
Yes,
well, guys, good luck with the show in 2025. You know, if everybody that's listening in, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your kids, tell your dogs.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
And listen to IT Nation Wise Up.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
All right.
Yes.
Well,
Vicky, thank you so much. Matt, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this. This should be fun.
Thank you, Vicky, and welcome, Sean.
All right. Bye, folks.
Toodles.
I'm in a whole new